Welcome to Everyday Things. Have you ever wondered whether gasoline actually expires, or if it can sit forever without changing? If you've ever left a car unused for months, discovered an old fuel can in storage, or worried about the fuel sitting in your generator, this question has probably crossed your mind. Gasoline is something we depend on daily, but unlike water, it doesn't remain unchanged over time. So does gasoline have a limited lifespan? And what exactly happens as it ages? Stay with us as we uncover the surprising science behind aging gasoline, right here on Everyday Things, Untold Stories. To understand why gasoline deteriorates, it helps to know what it's made of. Gasoline isn't a single pure substance. It's a blend of various hydrocarbons produced during the refining of crude oil. These include compounds such as octane and heptane, along with additives designed to enhance engine performance and lower emissions. Most modern gasoline also contains ethanol, which helps reduce pollution but unfortunately makes fuel less stable over time. Because gasoline is a finely balanced chemical mixture, it reacts easily to air, moisture, and temperature changes. These elements all contribute to how quickly gasoline begins to degrade once it leaves the refinery and ends up in your tank or storage container. So how long does gasoline actually last? Typically, untreated gasoline stored correctly will remain usable for about 3 to 6 months before its quality starts to decline. Ethanol-blended gasoline, the type sold at most gas stations today, can begin degrading much sooner, often within 1 to 3 months. Gasoline without ethanol tends to last longer, sometimes close to 6 months or slightly more. However, using fuel stabilizers, special chemical additives that slow down the breakdown process, can extend gasoline's usability to 1 or even 2 years. Without stabilizers, gasoline has a much shorter shelf life compared to fuels like diesel or kerosene. Gasoline doesn't rot like food, but it does change chemically in ways that reduce its effectiveness. Over time, the lighter hydrocarbons responsible for easy starting gradually evaporate, even from sealed containers. As a result, the fuel becomes harder to ignite. At the same time, exposure to oxygen leads to oxidation, forming sticky residues known as gums and varnish. These substances can block fuel injectors, carburetors, and filters, causing rough engine performance or even failure. When ethanol is involved, the problem worsens because it absorbs moisture from the air. Eventually, the water and alcohol separate from the gasoline in a process called phase separation, leaving a layer of water-heavy liquid at the bottom of the tank. Definitely not something you want entering your engine. So how can you tell if gasoline has gone bad? One of the first clues is the smell. Fresh gasoline has a sharp, slightly sweet scent, while old fuel smells sour or like varnish or paint thinner. Color is another indicator. New gasoline is usually clear or pale yellow, but as it ages, it darkens to an amber or muddy shade. Cloudiness or visible layering is a strong sign of phase separation. Finally, engine behavior can reveal the problem. If a machine begins to sputter, stall, or refuses to run properly after using stored fuel, degraded gasoline is often the cause.
While using old gasoline won't instantly ruin an engine, it can lead to costly issues over time. Engines running on stale fuel may experience clogged fuel systems, reduced power output, and increased emissions. In serious cases, extensive cleaning or replacement of fuel system components may be necessary. The presence of water from ethanol blends also increases the risk of corrosion inside fuel tanks and lines, particularly in older vehicles or small engines not designed for ethanol use. Although small amounts of old fuel mixed with fresh gasoline may still burn, relying on it regularly is risky. Proper storage is the key to extending gasoline's lifespan. Fuel should always be kept in approved, tightly sealed containers made of metal or fuel-rated plastic. Store it in a cool, dry location, away from heat and direct sunlight, as high temperatures speed up evaporation and chemical breakdown. If gasoline is being stored for emergency use,
Adding a fuel stabilizer immediately after purchase is strongly recommended. These additives slow oxidation and help prevent gum formation. It's also best not to fill containers completely. Leaving some space allows for expansion and reduces the risk of leaks. Under the right conditions, gasoline can remain usable well beyond its natural shelf life. If you happen to find an old gas can in your shed or stale fuel in your vehicle, don't simply throw it away. Gasoline is classified as hazardous waste, and improper disposal can be illegal and harmful to the environment. Many recycling centers and auto service shops accept old fuel for safe disposal. If the fuel isn't severely degraded, some people dilute small amounts with fresh gasoline, but this should be done cautiously and usually only in small engines. When in doubt, especially if the fuel smells bad or looks discolored, proper disposal is the safest choice. So, does gasoline go bad? Without a doubt. Within a few months, it can start losing its effectiveness due to evaporation, oxidation, and moisture absorption from ethanol. Despite being something we rely on so heavily, gasoline is surprisingly delicate. The good news is that careful storage and fuel stabilizers can significantly extend its lifespan. Still, gasoline is meant to be used, not stored indefinitely. Keeping it fresh protects your engine and ensures reliable performance every time you start it. Thanks for watching. If you have ideas for future episodes, feel to leave them in the comments. We'll be happy to give credit for your suggestion. And thank you for joining us as we explore the untold stories behind everyday things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more fascinating details from the simplest parts of life.